There are so many quests in OSRS, 180 to be exact depending on when you're watching this video. You might be staring at the quest tab as a fresh account, looking at it and feeling overwhelmed. That's definitely fair enough. Most of them are either skippable or very quick, but a handful of them are mandatory if you want your account to function properly. Then there's around 20 that really shape your account's progression. They unlock teleports, gear, spellbooks, everything. Some of the early ones, and one of the most important, is the waterfall quest. This might be one of the most efficient quests in the game. No requirements, no combat, it literally takes about 30 minutes if you've got the quest helper, and the reward is 13,750 attack and strength XP. That can take you from level 1 to level 30 in both stats instantly. For perspective, training attack and strength from 1 to 30 manually takes you around like 2 to 3 hours with like cows, chickens, or like goblins. But the waterfall quest does it in about 30 minutes, and you've also got a quest done, so that's a bonus. There's really no reason to put this off. I would say this is one of the first quests you should be doing as a fresh account. The next is the Witch's House, which is similar to the waterfall quest but for hit points. There's no requirements and it takes about 15 minutes, I'd say, and you walk away with 6,325 hit points XP. That bumps your HP from 10 to 24. This matters because at 10 HP, literally so many things in the game can 1 or 2 hit you. At 24 HP, you can actually survive while you're doing other things or other quests. It makes the rest of your fresh account experience a bit less painful. The next is the Knight's Sword. This is the smithing version of the waterfall quest. You do need level 10 mining but nothing else, so you can get that pretty quick. And the reward is 12,725 smithing XP. And this is going to take you straight from 1 to level 29, which is crazy. Smithing from level 1 manually can be pretty awful. The early bars are really slow and the XP rates are pretty bad, and you can shortcut all of it with just a 20-minute quest. This is also one of the very few free-to-play quests that are actually worth doing if you're playing free-to-play. But you haven't got too many in free-to-play anyway, so you might as well do them all. Next is the Holy Grail. This is underrated. It requires Merlin's Crystal as a prerequisite, and a small amount of combat to get through it. The rewards are 11,000 prayer XP and 15,300 defense XP. That gets you anywhere from 1 to 28 prayer and 1 to 31 defense in a single quest. That's really good XP for not too much effort, so yeah, I would get this one done as well. Druidic Ritual almost has 0 requirements. It takes 5 minutes and gives you 250 Herbalore XP. The XP isn't really the point, you're not really doing it for that. The point is you can't actually train Herbalore until you do this quest. It's also a prerequisite for putting any XP lamps into Herbalore. Dwarf Cannon has no requirements. It's about 10 minutes and unlocks a powerful weapon, the Dwarf Cannon. This is honestly one of the strongest weapons you can get in the game, mainly because it's working for you passively. And it's so strong for things like Slayer, and it also gets you so much range XP. It's basically essential at certain Slayer tasks or bosses. The cannon itself costs around 750 GP from the NPC, but this is after you've done the quest. So you might not buy it straight away, but the quest means that you've got it done and it's there for when you need it. Next, Plague City also has no requirement. It takes pretty much less than like 10 minutes. And the reason this is on the list is because it unlocks the Ardougne teleport. The Ardougne teleport requires 51 magic to cast, but tablets can be used at any magic level. Tablets work even on a fresh account. Ardougne is on the wrong side of the map, and there's basically no good way to get there without this teleport. Also, it's a prerequisite for the Ardougne diary tasks, which gives you the Ardougne cloak. This is a very important cloak, so I would get this one done. Treenham Village has some combat requirement. You're going to need to fight a level 112 Khazard Warlord, but you can safe spot him with magic if you wanted to, so it's not a necessity. The reward is 11,400 attack XP and access to the Spirit Tree teleport network. The Spirit Trees are so powerful. The Spirit Tree from the Grand Exchange Corner to the Treenham Village is one of the most used teleports in the entire game. You might as well get this early. The attack XP also stacks really nicely if you've already done the waterfall quest. And then in a similar vein, the Grand Tree. This requires 25 agility and the boss fight is a level 172 Black Demon. Again, there's a safe spot. The reward is 18,400 attack XP and 7,900 agility XP, and a nice little 2,150 magic XP. And a bonus is it unlocks the Gnome Glider. The Gnome Glider is great for accessing weird corners of the map. For Priest in Peril, there's no skill requirements. It takes about 10 minutes and the reward is access to the Mauritania region. Mauritania is huge. The Slayer Tower's there, Barrows is there, it's got Canifis, Mort Maya, Bert the Rot, and eventually when you can do it, Theatre of Blood. You can't really ignore the Priest in Peril quest. It's a prerequisite for so many other quests in the game and you'll end up doing it anyway. If you want to enter the giveaway to try win a bond, be sure to sub to the channel, like this video and comment down below what you think is the most important quest. The next few are good for either travel unlocks or utility unlocks. First one is a big one, Fairy Tale Part 1 and starting Part 2. To do Fairy Tale Part 1, you need a chain of prerequisites. Lost City, which needs 31 crafting and 36 woodcutting, Nature Spirit, the Restless Ghost, and a couple of other mid-tier quests. It's definitely doable in one sitting. Fairy Tale Part 1 gives you 3,500 farming XP and the magic secutors, but you also unlock the ability to get to Xanaros, and this allows you to start Fairy Tale Part 2, and just starting Part 2 unlocks the Fairy Ring network. You don't have to finish the quest, but you might as well. But you just need to start the quest, talk to the NPC, and you've got the Fairy Rings. The Fairy Rings are unironically the best transportation method in the entire game. There's over 40 locations and every single mid-game grind gets faster the moment you've got this. Trust me, do this quest and once you start using the Fairy Rings often, you're going to be so grateful that you did it. Next is Animal Magnetism. To do this, you need to complete Restless Ghost, Ernest the Chicken, Priest in Peril, plus you need 18 Slayer, 19 Crafting, 30 Ranged, and 35 Woodcutting. It sounds like a lot, but you've probably been training some of these anyway, and completing it gives you the Ava's Attractor, which upgrades to the Ava's Accumulator at level 50 ranged. It picks up most of your arrows automatically. Without this, you're literally throwing away GP every single time you train ranged. It also has the option of upgrading further to the Ava's Assembler, but for this you're going to need to complete Dragon Slayer 2 and need to get Vorkarth's Head. But it is the best in slot ranged cape for a long time. Next is the Fremnik Trials. It requires some crafting and woodcutting levels. Get this one done after you've got the Waterfall quest done. That way you have some combat levels going into it. The reward is 2,812 XP in each of the 10 different skills. So attack, defense, hit point, strength, agility, crafting, fishing, fletching, thieving, and woodcutting. That gets you from 1 to 16 in every single one of those skills. If you've ever trained fishing or fletching or thieving from level 1, you know how miserable it can be for some. This quest skips the worst of it across a lot of these skills, so it could definitely be worth it to some people. The Tears of Guthix requires 49 firemaking, 20 crafting, 20 mining, and 43 quest points, but the actual quest itself takes around 5 minutes. There's a reason it's on this list. Once you've done it, you can run the minigame once per week. This minigame puts XP into your lowest level skill, and it scales with your quest points. So the earlier you do this, the more weeks of free XP you get for either like rune crafting, agility, or whatever else it is that you've been putting off. The XP it gives you is pretty meaningful, hundreds of thousands over the course of an account's lifetime. Doing this at level 70 instead of level 3 costs you years of free XP. Bon Voyage requires dig site plus 100 kudos at the Varrock Museum. It takes about 30 minutes total and it includes the kudos grind, so if you haven't done it, you might want to get on this. This unlocks Fossil Island, which means you can do birdhouse runs. This is one of the best passive money makers and free hunter XP. It's basically a whole content area and nothing else gets you into it, so you might as well do it. Next I'm going to talk about some mid-game gear and powerful unlocks. First up is Monkey Madness 1. To do this you need to complete the Grand Tree and the Tree Gnome Village. Plus you need to kill a level 195 Jungle Demon. It's pretty combat heavy, so you're gonna want some good stats. I would say 60s in your combat and you should be comfortable. The reward is the Dragon Scimitar. This is one of the best one-handed slash weapons until tier 70. It lasts you all the way up until you get a whip, even with newer additions like the Zombie Axe. And you also get a good chunk of combat XP for completing the quest. This one is definitely worth doing and a nostalgic one. The Recipe for Disaster is a multi-part nightmare for some. There are 10 subquests in total, but you need 175 quest points to start the final fight. Each subquest has its own prerequisites. Things like Lunar Diplomacy, Monkey Madness 1, Horror from the Deep, but the reward is the Barrows Gloves. This is the best in-stock gloves until the late game. To do the Fremnik Isles, you need to complete the Fremnik Trials, plus 20 construction. Completing this gets you the Helm of Natusnot. This is best in slot for melee until you get the face guard. The Natusnot face guard comes from the Fremnik Exiles, but the base helm is pretty much like the bread and butter for mid game. This is also another piece of nostalgia. Desert Treasure 1 is a big quest. It requires 6 other quests including the Dig Site, Temple of Ikov, and the Tourist Trap. plus 50 magic and a bunch of other mid-tier stats. The reward is the Ancient Spellbook. That's Ice Burst, Ice Barrage, Blood Barrage, and Smoke Barrage. The barrage spells are by far the fastest magic XP in the game, and they're the meta spellbook for half of OSRS bossing. Plus you get a decent range of teleports. Next is Dragon Slayer 2. This is a Grandmaster quest. It requires 200 quest points to start, plus an absurd list of prerequisites. The skill requirements are heavy. The reward is Warcarth, one of the most consistent and profitable mid to late game bosses. This is the quest that sincerely opens you up to late game money making. If you finish Dragon Slayer 2, you're definitely on the way to the end game. Once you've done all the quests I've mentioned, then the natural next steps are the other Grandmaster quests. That's Monkey Madness 2, which unlocks demonic gorillas and maniacal monkeys. This is the best magic and range training spot in the game. Then Song of the Elves, which unlocks Prifddinas, the Gauntlet, the Corrupted Gauntlet, Zolcano, and Elf Thieving. Desert Treasure 2, which is probably the hardest quest in the game, but it unlocks the 4 awakened bosses, and A Kingdom Divided. This finishes the Zaya questline and unlocks upgraded thralls. And once you've done all the Grandmaster quests, you're probably a few quests away from the Questscape. If you've done all of these quests, you're pretty much set up for a lot of things that the game has to throw at you, maybe except for endgame raids. But you get teleports, spellbooks, gear unlocks, money makers, and training methods. I would definitely say to install the Quest Helper. You don't need to sit there reading the wiki guides for every single quest anymore. The Quest Helper does the navigation. It gives you the steps, you pretty much just click. But if you want it to be difficult, then definitely don't get the help. I can definitely understand when people say that it's made it easyscape. But for some, it's the difference between questing being painful and questing being efficient. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to enter the Bond giveaway. There's a link in the description if you want to join the Discord community. I hope you're having a good day, and until the next one, peace.